All right, before the podcast starts, I just want to say thank you for everyone who's watched my two previous videos, this one and this one. Both really good. Check them out. I'll leave the links in the comments below so you can just press on the link and watch them. This podcast I did with Brave Lucy was over Zoom. I don't think Zoom was the best choice, and doing it live was the best choice because yeah, I never used Zoom before and it was like not that great for us, but we're going to do another one and we're going to make it bigger and better. So if you do like the podcast, please leave a like, as well as check out Brave Lucy's group chat here, and also check out my group chat, which will be here. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you enjoy the videos, let me know in the comments and enjoy.
I want to talk a bit about your YouTube stuff. So, what made you start to do YouTube videos?
Mm, I feel I feel making videos makes me happy. So that's why I start to make
Yeah,
videos. And I know YouTube channel, YouTube, this platform is popular, is the most popular platform around the world. So I would like to start like my career and my hobby um, on YouTube. So that's why I start to make videos.
yeah. So, like, when was it? Like, did you always want to make videos when you were younger in high school or at university, or was it like when you graduated? When was the starting point?
Starting point. I think I start uh, I start on YouTube channel in 2018, like December
Yeah,
2018. But I love public speaking, so I love talking and I love making videos since I was in at my university in China. Yeah,
yeah.
and I was a host in a radio station in China. So I love doing that. So that's why, yeah, I start to do. Yeah.
So, what did you do on the radio?
You mean China?
Yeah,
So it's a night program. It means you
yeah.
talk on the radio station at night, and someone call you, email you, and QQ at you, and to they want to listen music, so you play music on the radio. And
Yeah. So you were when you were younger and you did the radio stuff in China, did that like translate over into YouTube?
yes,
Because a lot of your stuff that you do on YouTube,
yeah, I think so.
it's it's
Yeah,
very good
yeah.
and it's very like I guess you would have to sort of hit a point where you would want to do it for a living. Do you consider making YouTube videos for a living?
Now,
Yeah, or
no,
in the future?
no. Maybe in the future, but not now. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, because you've done a lot. So like with your YouTube videos, what's the main content of it?
Of my videos.
Yeah, so what sort of videos do you like to do on
Um,
YouTube?
I love sharing my life, especially in Australia, and my thoughts with my audience. So some videos may be quite informative. For example, I have made some videos um, that they are talking about how do I find a job in Australia and how difficult to find a job in Australia. And also, but some videos are quite entertaining, have some
Yeah.
fun to watch, like Australian's Lens and Utah's tour. Yeah,
Yeah, the two videos we did
some,
together.
yeah, they are informative and also entertaining.
Yeah, those videos. I'll
Yeah,
give everyone a background on the Utah's tour video. That was the best and worst video I've ever done. Like it turned out really good, but that day was so long. Like we planned it out very carefully. We started from the Oval and literally worked our way all the top to the top of the accommodation
Yeah.
in in College Street, and like it was really really good at the beginning because I was always like, no, we have to make this perfect. We have to do this perfect. This shot has to work and has to look amazing, right?
Yeah.
But like at the very end of the day, after like 6, 7, 8 hours of filming, and we're like doing the science buildings and the accommodation, even though we made a couple of mistakes or something like that, I'm just like, nah, just leave it in. I don't mind. But yeah, that was my funnest video with you, and the Australian video, that was good as well, especially the plumber doing the construction work or whatever. That was good. But yeah, the original plan for that video was to show like my butt, like my ass when I was fixing the sink. But
Yeah.
I thought to myself when I was doing it, I'm like, I really don't want my ass to be on YouTube. So we changed the video a bit, and it was
Yeah.
what's your least favorite type of videos or the hardest ones to edit?
The least favorite. I think I don't have least favorite, but the hardest one I think was Plan With Me. So a month ago, that video.
Yeah.
That video was
What
hard.
was that about? Because I can't speak
Yes,
Chinese.
I need to film a video, and I need to put the camera in front of me and film myself. And also
Yeah.
when I planned, and I need to put a camera on the desk and film how I make a plan. And I've got so many footage, but I just chose, I think maybe 10 of them, but I filmed maybe 30 to 40 footage of that video.
Yeah.
So it was so hard. And I also would like to make that video more entertaining. So I need to edit, like put some motions and blah blah pictures and make the video look fun. So that consumed me much time to do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's very interesting how much effort you put into that sort of stuff. It takes so long, like so long. And the fact is like you truly don't understand how hard it is until you actually do it. I think that's the most important thing about that. But like from graduating, because you have 2 jobs, right? 2 jobs in 2 local companies, right?
Mm.
2 retail stores, right?
Mm.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I want to ask some questions
Yeah.
in regards to that.
I have made some videos to talk about how can I find jobs, local jobs in Australia. Later on, I will share the videos link or my YouTube channel link in the group chat. But I think generally, I think appearance, confidence, local working experience is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well. I'll just touch on that. So, like, you need experience. So, I want to know from your perspective, because I'm sure you have friends who also struggle to find jobs that graduate from like the Master of Accounting. What do you think a lot of Chinese students do wrong when they apply for jobs?
Do wrong.
Yeah, like, what do you think they do wrong?
When I work in local company, I made some Chinese students who
Yeah,
submitted their resume in our store or in my company, and I saw them. The big mistake was they just wore very casual clothes, but that was not good. Mm,
yeah. What
very
else?
casual.
Yeah, I think it has a bit more to do with that.
Mm,
Like, I think a lot of it has to do with their resume and work experience as well. Like, I think a lot of Chinese students in the Chinese community, I think they don't focus too much on getting internship or any local experience during their time at UTAS. Like even for my company, right? I have people apply for my job and for my company, and I need a job for either sales or marketing, right?
Mm.
And they submit their resume and they have like no experience in sales. That's the first big thing. Now, I'm very happy to give people opportunities, but the second biggest mistake I find is they don't customize, they don't change their resume to talk more about sales stuff. They just leave it as like just accounting stuff. So like when I'm reading a resume looking for sales work, they're talking about how great of an accountant they are,
Mm.
and like I just don't
Yes,
care because it's nothing to do with the job. It's the same as like retail jobs.
correct. Because
Like they don't local jobs don't care about how great of an accountant they are. They care if you can talk to people in communication. So that's why I'm so interested in your story, is like how did you get a job at a local retail shop? Did you have previous experience talking to locals before?
yes, yes,
What
definitely.
did you do?
Yeah, I think most Chinese students they couldn't find a job, a local job in Australia. I think the most um, the biggest reason um, was they are lack of local working experience. So if their local experience is not enough, and local boss will think, okay, you don't have um, much local working experience. How can I hire you? And that's a risk for them. So I think
Yeah,
local working experience is very, very important. You need to have. Yeah,
yeah, even volunteer work.
yeah,
I
even though
think volunteer work as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah. It's just it's like the most important thing I believe in is having the motivation to do everything and not give up. Like even if you don't get hired or you struggle to find a job, or you don't have any experience, then just try. Just keep trying. If you just have the mentality of I can't find it, there's no jobs in Hobart, it's too hard, I just want to give up, then that's the wrong thing. But like you have to put in effort. Like
yeah,
you have to, and that means changing your resume, making a cover letter, and just trying to get that experience. Because like first of all, if you somehow get a job and you get a job interview, it's your job in that interview to sell yourself. You're a salesperson in that interview, and the product you're selling is yourself. And if you don't have the confidence to sell yourself, then how will you get a job?
yeah. And also I think if because I know most of Tasmanian students who are from China, and their major, most of them, their major um, is accountant or IT. So
Yeah,
um, I thought so. I think when I graduated from UTAS, and I was thinking, okay, I need to find a job about accounting because my major was accounting, right? But
mm,
I think I tried 3 months and I submit so many resumes online, and I put the resume into the local companies, and yeah, they didn't get back. So I feel maybe you can start from the small points, not just accounting. So you can start from, yeah, what job you may or you would like to get. So you start keep your eyes on that, not just accounting.
yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree. Because even if you do accounting, you still have to understand communication. In order to do communication, you have to at least talk to locals or do that sort of job. Even like working at McDonald's. McDonald's is a shit job, but like at least you can get some experience of communication and how the work structure and dealing with local people. So like when you first got your job, what was the logic differences like compared to working in a Chinese company versus a Western company? What are some big differences you found?
I didn't work in companies in China, so I
Oh,
could
but the logic will still be the same because you've had friends and stuff.
the logic.
Yeah.
I feel local people, they are more straightforward, so you can get their
Yeah.
ideas very, very quickly, immediately. But as for Chinese companies, and when you work with Chinese colleagues, and you are very polite with each other, so sometimes you couldn't get their own their ideas straight away. So I think that's the logic problem.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is right. I think they are hard workers, like Chinese people. Like when I was operations manager at Hanson Orchards, I had to manage like 30 people, and a lot of them were from China and Taiwan as well as Hong Kong. And even though we were working for hours and hours and hours and hours, they sort of took an opportunity and they worked really, really hard for it. And they just, every time you talk to them, 90% of them were really positive, even though the work was really shit and painful. Like working from like 7:30 to like 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night was really hard. And like a lot of them were just happy to be there, really.
Mm.
And I think, but like there's a big communication problem as well. So the question I have for you is, did you take the ELST or PTE?
Yes, I did. I did.
Which one? ELST or PTE?
Else. I didn't do
Mm.
yeah.
Do you think if you took the PTE, do you think maybe you would have got a job or not? Because PTE doesn't really teach English, and your English is really good. And a lot of people who I know who took the ELST, their English is like really proficient. I haven't met anyone that's taken the ELST and got a high score to be bad at English, but I've met a lot of people who've got a high score on the PTE and are bad at English. So do you think passing the PTE instead of the ELST sort of stops opportunities in the future?
Mm, if you want to find a job
Don't You don't have to give like a super scientific answer. I just want to know your opinion and your experience.
yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
So there's no wrong answer because it's your opinion.
Yeah. So I think if you would like to find a job in Australia, definitely you need to have a good, like basic and maybe better English language skills. I don't think my English is perfect, and I still feel my English is not good until now, but I'm making progresses. So
Yeah, but I feel sorry to interrupt. I feel like if I was to hire someone and like I would hire you over a lot of other international students because like I feel like your communication skills, like I really emphasize communication skills is a lot better because I feel like you put in the effort, like, and this can happen with everyone, is they can put in the effort to study English, learn English, and love the culture instead of just do the PTE because they really, really need to immigrate. If they decide to take like the ELST, for example, and yeah, the writing part sucks,
yeah, I
but
think
like I feel like it's like I feel like if you put in the effort to learn English, there's a lot more opportunities you can actually do rather than take the easy way to get the high score on PTE, but then it hurts you in the long run. It's like, yeah. What were you gonna say?
so. I'm gonna say that depends on your purpose. So if you would like to immigrate, definitely you need to pass certain points on ELTS or PTE,
Yeah.
right? But if
But
you just
what's
yeah, but if you
you
just
finished? Sorry.
yeah, But if you just would like to find a local job, I feel local person, they focus on your communication skills, not just how high your IELTS, your PTE scores are.
Yeah, but the way I see it is different. It's like the point of immigrating is to come to this country and live here sustainably. But like, if you take PTE and for the purpose of immigration, and you get your citizenship, but you still can't speak like fluent English, or you still have communication problems with locals, then you pretty much, like we say, like shoot yourself in the foot. Like, you take the easy way, but like in the long run, it hurts you more, because like you need a job, you need to be financially secure, you need to at least be able to communicate and talk with locals. And if you just do PTE and you still can't speak fluent or good English or whatever, then I think it's very difficult for people to actually properly live here, just because of that communication barrier, and then they can't find a job. And like, I know this because like pretty much like at least 90% of my students, at least 80% of my students who take my everyday English classes, they come to me and they say, I passed the PTE, I went to this language institution, they taught me the skills to pass PTE, but now I can't find a job, I need a job, can you please help me, Nathan? And then I have to teach them like the local culture, how to speak English, and also like workplace culture and dealing with local people in the workplace. And you know, they can vary. Some of them can speak okay English, some of them can speak bad English, some people can speak good English. But I just find that a lot of people who do take PTE really struggle with finding jobs. And I've known a lot of people who have passed the IELTS, like especially in 2017, and all of them have jobs. Like,
Really?
all of them. Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know too many people who have really
I don't know,
passed.
because I didn't take PTE, but I heard some people say PTE is easier than IELTS.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't take PTE, but yeah, I think whatever it's PTE or else, you still need to take practices on your
Yeah,
English
exactly.
communication skills. That's very, very important to find a local job.
Yeah.
That's the
But
first,
But I
most.
feel, at least if you learn else, for example, and they talk about like traveling, favorite, I don't know, favorite places, music, art, and stuff. All those conversation skills, or all those answers, can translate into the workplace. Like, for example, if the boss asks you, like, you know, where have you been? How are you? Tell me about yourself, blah, 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 blah. At least if you study the else, you're able to give like a proper structured answer. But with the PTE, it's more like repeating, sort of like predicting the answers and just repeating a sentence using methods, skills, and tricks, rather than actual oral English. So I feel like you're right. You do need to practice English, but like, I feel like if you do the ELST, just by doing the ELST, you learn better English. But like, I can understand why people do PTE, because you're right, it's easier to pass. Yeah. So talking about like communication in the workplace, so I want to know, when you work with local people, what was some problems you had at the beginning? Like maybe communication problems, logic problems, something like that.
I think the most struggle thing I made when I work in a local company at the first time, I think it was communication problem.
Yep.
Because I think back to 2018, I think. Yeah, and
That's when you first started.
that was my first started to work in local company in Brisbane. And because the manager required to me to receive calls every working day, you know, it's so tough for me. Back to then, my communication skill my listening is so bad, and for example, in my IELTS test, listening, reading, writing, and speaking, my listening is always lowest one. So I was so nervous every time, every working day, just like, oh my goodness, I need to receive a call. And when I hear some and my heart rate just go up. Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
that was tough, but I think after 1 month, and I gradually adapted to it and try to keep calm and listen what they said on the phone. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel my listening skill at that time improved a lot. Yeah.
So it's just like a natural thing. So like the more you did your job, the more naturally your listening improved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So did you like look up YouTube videos or anything?
I think watching YouTube helped me as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, when I
Like call centers sort of thing.
yeah, and when I studied at UTAS, and I didn't have many jobs. I think I just worked in a restaurant for 3 months. That's it. And what really improved my English, I think, is watching YouTube, watching a lot of English YouTube. Yeah, English YouTuber.
A biggest thing, like a lot of students ask me is like, Nathan, how can I improve my English by myself? And I say to them, I say, how do you learn? And they say, oh, I just repeat sentences over and over and over again. And they say to me, what about listening? And I said, the best way to learn listening is to just talk to local people. Like you have to actually do it yourself. There's no easy way to improve your listening.
Yeah, and
It's
also
very hard.
you can try to talk in English with local people more often. So for example, if you could face to face to talk to Western people, but you can talk on the phone instead of face to face. So you can try to improve that. That can improve your listening and speaking skills at the same time.
Yeah. I think another thing too, just to move back to the workplace, I want to know your opinions on some things not to do, like the difference between like Western and Chinese logic, right? If you work in a local company, what are some things you shouldn't do that Chinese people might do in a Chinese company?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think I will do same thing.
You don't know. You work in a local company.
Yeah, I think I will do same thing. No matter it's Chinese company or Western company, I will do same thing. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the difference between like a local and a Chinese company is, and I've done this because I've noticed this because I used to be a manager as well as an area manager as well as run my own company, right? I've had like interns or people in the job interviews, right? Like they come into the company and I do the interview with them, and during the interview they tell me how to do my job, or when they first start they tell me how to do my job as like a higher up person. Nobody likes that.
Okay.
Nobody likes it. Even suggestions.
That's interesting. I never meet that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's one good example? It's when they first start either. There was one time where I hired a couple of interns, and this one person kept on like offering suggestions after suggestions, and like I'm a very easy person. I just say, yeah, cool, I might implement that. But there was one person that really hammered down on you know how some English institutions have like a what they call it, like a test question bank, like the automated online test AI. And they kept on suggesting AI, and I said, like, I don't have like $6,000 to throw at an AI machine for PTE. And they kept on criticizing the company. I'm just like, well, then just why are you here? And a few other times was like at the cherry farm and stuff, was just like they would come in, some of them would come in and they would like talk about performance stuff, right? And I've had like three years experience and stuff, and they would try and talk about workflows and just have big long arguments about pointless stuff. But like it's the same with local people as well. They do that as well. But my advice is if you're new or you're not that close to your boss or whatever, don't just offer suggestions for two reasons. The first reason is if you're new, it might cause like actual problems between you and your boss. The second thing is if you offer suggestions to make like better workflow in a company, for example, and you tell that to, let's just say, your team leader or your supervisor or whoever's the next level up, right? If you give them suggestions to make things better, they will probably implement those, or they might slightly implement them, and then the workflow will increase, and then they will tell their boss and take all the credit. And all your hard work and all your ability to increase the company's workflow, all the credit will go to the person up top.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so when you, because you had a second local job, right? So I want to know, when you did your interviews both like in Brisbane and Hobart, I want to know some of the questions they asked you on the interviews.
What's the questions they asked me?
Yeah, some job interview questions.
I feel every manager asked me during that interview, the first question, always introduce yourself. So you need to introduce yourself maybe in 1 to 2 minutes. And I feel that one is quite important. So you need to attract them and make them would like to know you more. So that's the first question.
So like I was 18 at the time, and I was just messaging random people, and I just asked Yongbei, like same as like 100 people. I said like, do you want some free English lessons? Because I was teaching free at that time. And Yongbei's like, yeah, sure. And I'm just like, yeah, sweet, all right. And I told my girlfriend, and she's just like, oh, you need to be careful. And I said, why? And she's like, oh, because she runs a media company. She's very powerful. She can ruin your reputation if you say anything bad or like teach bad. And I'm like, oh shit. So I was like really, really worried because like I was really nervous. And I met her, and like she's nice and everything. Like there was no problems. But before that, I didn't know who she was, and I was like really, really nervous about meeting Yongbei. And so I started teaching. We just started having like a conversation, and I was just like correcting her English and everything like that. And she says like, "Oh, how much do you charge for lessons?" And I said, "Free." And she's like, "Free?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" And she's like, "Whoa, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "So how old are you?" And I said, "Take a guess." And she guessed like I was like 28, 29. I was no, I'm 18.
29.
And she just kept laughing. She laughed and she's like, 18, you're 18. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, whoa, you're so young. You're so young. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm young. But I was like more humble. I'm just like, yeah, thanks. So we sat down and we started like having lunch. And remember, I was 18. So I was just like, yeah. And she's like, oh, what do you want? Because she was going to shout me lunch. And I'm just like, oh, can I have this sandwich roll? And she's like, yeah, sure. And she orders it. She whips out like $100 note. And I'm just like, oh, crap. $100 on a sandwich. Because like in like Australian culture, you always keep the $100. You never try and split it. You just keep it for as long as possible. Like you only use the $100 notes on like really, really important stuff or like really expensive stuff. So when she paid with $100, I'm like, holy crap. Like she's breaking $100 note over a sandwich. I'm like, she means business. So like I sat down, I'm just eating this like salad roll, treasuring it. And like we just keep talking and talking and talking. And like I think like it was a very unique experience because like this was the first like I guess popular person I met. And yeah, no, she was really nice, and I had nothing bad to say. I was just like really nervous the whole time. Turns out she doesn't like my graphics designing skills. It's a good thing I dropped out of graphics design classes at uni.
Yeah, that was a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, like, when you first met Jen Shen, what was your first experience with her?
I went back to Hobart from Brisbane, and I found out there is a person who hosts a radio station and in Chinese. And I was so interested and curious about that because I was a host in China. So a host on the radio station in China. So I always would like to do the like same jobs at the radio station. So I think that was a good opportunity to let me do that. So I actively contacted to her, and I added her in WeChat, and we started to connect each other and became friends. And I think the first time I met her was we were in the radio station, I think, and we host a program in Chinese. And yeah, that's my experience. And yeah, it was
I remember that.
yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, I remember we did the radio training together. That was
Yeah,
quite an experience.
that's right.
What did you think of because me and you, for everyone else, we did like every Tuesday night we went to the radio training like course thing.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it was very long, to say the least. But like we met so many cool people there, and like we're properly licensed to do the radio. But I don't know what happened. I don't think any of them did the radio after the training. It was only like really me, because you sort of went in and out of the radio and I stayed full time. And everyone in our training course, I was the only one who stayed. Oh, and the sports guy as well. That was doing like a sports training, sports thing. But yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got like another off question for you, because I want to see if anyone has any questions for you or me, like local jobs or your experience or anything like that. But I want to know, as a guy, what's the best way to shop for a girl for makeup or perfume? Because like from my experience, whenever I go into Myers, David Jones, as well as the other Mecca Matza, or even your shop, they always give me these perfumes, but they always smell like trees to me. Like they don't have any special smell. They just smell like girls' perfume. What's the best way for a guy to like buy perfume for a girl?
So you would like to buy a perfume for your girlfriend?
Yeah, just like give an example of like what's the best way, or what's the best perfume to buy your girl?
Yeah, I
Because
think
like I always suck at shopping for
yeah.
perfume and makeup and stuff.
First of all, I think you need to know what's your girlfriend's preference of.
But what if I don't? It just all smells like trees.
If you don't know, you are not good boyfriend. No,
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. Because like I always just go in, right? And they always say to me these just random questions. What's her favorite color? What does she like to do? Does she do this? And I'm just like, oh, her favorite color is red, pink, blue, whatever.
I think perfume.
And they're just like,
yeah, perfume.
And they take me, right? And they get this perfume out and they spray it on the car and like, oh, this came from Europe in Germany in 1986. Originally made by this person. It's a fragrant smell of beauty and nature and the trees and stuff. And I'm like, you're telling me a backstory of a smell. Is this good? And all I do is I just go, oh yeah, okay, all right, yep. Knowing nothing about the perfume. What is the best way?
I
Is
think
it like to buy like the sample kits, or just a big bottle, or what?
Yeah, samples would be great. So I could give you some samples to let you take them home and let your try and pick what
Yeah.
you like the best. This is one
Just
of
like 1 week before her birthday, just take a sample home and say, hey, try this out. And we're like, oh, okay. And I say, do you like this? And they say, yeah. And they say, why? Why are you asking me? And so I'll just be like, nothing. Then she'll know straight away, and then it's not a surprise. You have to try and keep it a surprise.
Yeah, if you would like to have a surprise for her, I think you need to know her personality. So
I've got a plan. So what about this, Lucy?
Yeah.
When, let's just say I'm wearing like this sleeve, right? So let's just say my girlfriend's doing whatever, she's at work or whatever, and I go into the bathroom and I grab her perfume. I spray it on my arm, right? And then I put it down, and then I like drive to Myers or wherever, and I like go in there and I say, hey, do you have any perfume that smell like this? And I get the sales girl to smell my arm, and then she will recommend me perfume that smells similar to that. But all I need to do is I have to roll it down, because like if any guys smell my arm, then they'll think that I don't have a girlfriend. Yeah, I'm very girly. Yeah, that's the word.
That's good example. Yeah, some people.
So I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone do that?
No. I feel
you could just take a photo of the bottle, but that's too easy.
Yeah.
You want to do something more challenging.
I feel perfume is connected to someone's personality. So if you know their personalities. So for example, your girlfriend is romantic. So you could give her a perfume that smells so romantic, or their backstories are very, very romantic, or their names are very romantic. So
Dude, I'm like the opposite of romantic.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah, if your girlfriend is very natural and natural beauty, and maybe the smell will connect to trees.
What do you mean by natural beauty? Natural beauty, you mean like, the trees, not like sweat.
Not
sweaty armpits.
Yeah.
That's what I think of natural beauty. I think of some person who's went to the gym for 1 hour and it's just like sweat all there.
It's not natural beauty.
Natural smell.
It's
natural smell.
So natural beauty.
Disgusting.
Yeah, natural beauty is just simple and very natural and connected to the tree smell and fresh.
Yeah. I don't know much about perfume, but I just have to agree. I like my idea of just spray it on your arm, roll it up, and then like go to the store and then do it like that, because then it will be really good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one story. It was when I was really, 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 really young, like in primary school, and there used to be a shop called Chicken Feed. Chicken Feed was like the original shiploads, and it was my mum's birthday, and me, my dad, and my sister, we went into Chicken Feed, and we bought like a $2 big bottle of perfume, right? It smelled disgusting, like absolutely disgusting. But like as a kid, we didn't really know. So we bought mum this perfume, and we got it for her on her birthday. And she opens it up and she's like, oh, perfume. She sprays it on and it smells like the worst thing ever. Like you're paying $2 for a big bottle of perfume. It's like, it's going to smell bad. But like kids, we don't know that. So she sprays on her arm and she absolutely hates the smell. And even I knew it smelled bad. And my sister, it was like, try it on. And my mum's like, oh, try it on later. And I said, Mum, we bought this for you. And she's like, oh, okay. She sprays on this most disgusting perfume. And then like we went over to my nan's house later on, my grandmother's house. And we go inside the house and my nan, she does, that face just like that sort of disgusting face. She's just like, what's that horrible smell? And then my sister said with the cutest voice, she's like, we bought Mum perfume. And then Mum's just like, she pretends to like it in front of my grandmother. It's the most funniest thing ever.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what's if you interview someone, what's the skill you focus on the most?
Their ability to talk. Their ability to talk, reasoning, as well as if they can do the job or not. Three big factors. Let's just say I'm interviewing a Chinese person, for example. I would focus on their ability to communicate. That's the biggest thing. Because if they can't communicate, then there's no point putting them on, because communication is such an important part of the workplace. Second thing I would focus on is their previous experience. For example, if they have previous experience in that sort of workplace, I would consider them more higher. Third thing is their, I guess, their organization or their ability to reason. Like, for example, problems in the workplace, how do they handle problems and deal with high pressure situations? That's three biggest factors.
Yeah.
As well as the question, like, tell me about yourself, right? So it depends on what sort of company you're going for. If you're going for like McDonald's, Kmart, retail, and they say, tell me about yourself, you're usually just talking like about your life, right? But if you're going for like an accounting company or a management position, when they say, tell me about yourself, usually it means, what background do you have? Like, I have a background in accounting. My biggest strength is, I don't know, accounting. My biggest strength is using Xero or Origin or whatever it's called. Oracle, yeah. Or like, I have a background in management. I've been a manager for 3 years at blah, 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 blah. Those sort of things. So we have a question from Yaya Aline.
I didn't.
Why were you so nervous the first time you see Youngbae? Well, Aline, that's because of you. Because you told me, you said to me, you said, she's a very popular person, very powerful person. Be careful when teaching her. She could destroy your career if you don't do a good job. You were the reason why I was so nervous that day. So yeah, I was nervous. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think there's no other questions, I believe. So we'll go couple more minutes. You can't do bad. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, have you applied for the Centralink?
No. There's a couple of reasons why. Is because I am a sole trader. So I can apply for a JobKeeper loan because I'm with I am a sole trader. It's a bit hard to apply for it because I still get a gradual income, but it's less. So I don't really see too much reason to get it. But JobKeeper is good for me because I have a job, I want to keep it. But I've just been like still teaching and teaching and teaching. Which, if you want lessons, message me, because we have awesome PTE teachers and awesome English teachers. I can help you improve your English, your speaking ability, listening ability as well. And we also have a good PTE teacher that will teach you the skills and how to speak English. He's really good. Sean is. But yeah, I just teach. Like, I've got a job interview with the taxation office like in 1 week's time.
Oh,
so
really?
I'm also gonna. Yeah, it's funny. I don't even do accounting, and I'm going for working in the taxation office.
Yeah, you applied jobs online?
Yeah. So even like, just keep applying. Like, if you're like, if you're still struggling, just keep on applying for jobs. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But like, in order to get a job, you need to put in the effort. Like, you can't just hand in the same resume 1,000 different times for 1,000 different jobs. And that's like a big thing. Like, I've done resume writing classes before and helped people individually make resumes. And I sit down with them and I ask them, like, what sort of job are you applying for? because a lot of them just send me like basic, like engineering, accounting, or IT jobs, right? So, or they have backgrounds in that, and their resumes are built around engineering, accounting, or IT. And I just say, so what sort of job are you looking for? And I say, oh, any job. I'm looking for retail. I'm looking for a job related to my thing. And I say to them, like, does the skills you have translate into your job that you're looking for? And they'll either say yes or no. But a lot of them just want to find any jobs. And they put all these accounting achievements here. And this is the most important thing. McDonald's doesn't care if you can do accounting or not. They care if you can flip a burger, right? And the same thing with any sort of job is like they care about the job itself, not about like IT, engineering, or whatever skills. Unless you're applying for those jobs, then great, and those skills are useful. But like if like let's just say you do an engineering job, right, and you're applying for a management job, a sales job, or whatever, right? Take aspects from your engineering job and translate them into sales. Like, for example, communication, talking to customer service, customer care, that sort of stuff as an engineer, chief engineer, managing a team, all that translates into sales because that shows communication. But if you're saying that you can build a house, I don't know, then that they don't care about that.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I think we will finish here.
Yes.
All right, so I'll put in the WeChat group chat the code for the 15% discount at Shanghai King Bun. Special thanks to Shanghai again for sponsoring today's talk show, and definitely go have some Shanghai King Bun. They've also got delivery there as now, so if you don't even want to go in there because of the virus, they'll just deliver it to your house. They'll look after you, that's for sure. All right, let's finish here. You've listened to our podcast today. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I hope you have a good night. Do you have anything to say before we finish, Lucy?
Thank you for listening. I think we had a very natural talk.
I will see you guys later. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys in the future.